don't need a little shirt, man.
5 years old.
You fine? You gonna be smart, though. Good morning. How you guys doing this morning?
Good morning.
You guys good? So you guys read the book?
Yeah.
Wait. Who in here read the book?
Why you took my first 2 chapters?
Oh, the first 2 chapters.
Yeah, 1 and 4.
1 and 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a question about the chapters?
I got a question.
Who have questions?
I didn't read it, so
Your sister and brother.
My sister and brother? My brother's in California and my sister's in Houston.
They doing good now?
Yeah, but we still love each other though.
Y'all doing good now?
Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, we're best of friends. Yeah, I like that. I like that. What do you say? Come back, all right? Yeah. What inspired me to write the book? What inspired me to write the book was when I was in jail, I read about a guy named Nathan McCall. Nathan McCall was a guy who was in prison for robbery, and he got out. Well, while he was in jail, he started writing, and he got a job in the library. And he started writing, and then he got out and became a writer for the Washington Post. So I was fascinated with his story because I'm like, if he did it, I could do it. If Nathan McCall could change his life, I could change my life. So I figured that there was a lot of stuff that I did bad in my life that can come back and help you guys, to keep you guys from making the same choices that I made. So you should read this book, learn from this book, and say, you know what? I can't make those choices. I can't use drugs. I can't get involved with people who use drugs, right? I can't commit crimes because there's so much you guys can do. Imagine if I never went to jail. Imagine if I had the idea and the potential to do great things when I was your age, how far I would be in life. So I'm still trying to catch up. I have a lot of catching up to do. Next question.
Does your auntie and your mom get along?
My who?
Your auntie and your mom, do they get along?
Yeah, they get along. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody gets along now. Any other question? You have a question? Wait. Do I still miss my friend? The one who got killed? Yeah, I miss my friend. Periodically, I think about it. I mean, no one needs to lose a friend at a young age. So many black kids are being killed today. I mean, you guys are too young right now, but if you're 14, about 27, so many black men and women are getting killed today, and it's black on black crime. We're killing one another because we don't love each other anymore. We're always beefing with one another. Why do we fight against one another? Why do we beef? Why do we want to pick up a gun and kill another black man? I mean, kill anybody. But we hate each other so much that we're willing to kill somebody because he said something wrong to me or he called me a name. So we got to quit thinking like that. And in our communities, we're taught to think like that. And that's wrong. It's wrong. We should love one another. We should love one another. There's too many lies. See, the subtitle I wrote, "The Streets Lied to Me." In our neighborhoods, we're taught to think differently. In other words, you're not cool if you're not selling dope. You're not cool, you're not a man if you don't beat your girl. You don't hit a woman. So these are lies, man, that the streets, our communities is teaching us. So I gotta stop you from listening to that lie. I'm telling you, young man, that's a lie. Don't believe that. Don't believe that it's cool to sell dope. Don't believe that you gotta be in a gang to be hip, to be a gangster. That's not cool. Being a gangster is not cool. Young ladies, it's not okay to have a baby at 14, 15 years old. That's a lie. That's a lie, but our community say it's okay. Now you're a woman. You're pregnant, you're a woman now. That's a lie. All those lies are constantly being perpetuated to you guys, and you guys are buying into it. So it's my job to come here and tell you those are lies. Don't believe that. The most powerful thing that you have today, young people, is the power to choose. You can choose your own destiny. No matter where you come from, you can come from the hood, your mama could be on crack, your daddy could be on crack, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can still make it. If you choose to stay focused, if you choose to listen to these people, these teachers, you gotta listen, you gotta pay attention. I told a young lady one day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, it was yesterday, I said, if you, the more you play, the more you pay. The more you play, the more you pay. Now, what do you mean by that, Mr. Ameer? Meaning, when you come into this classroom, you come to what? Learn. You come to learn. You don't come to play. So if you continue to play and play and play and play and play and play and play, when you get older, you know nothing in your head. And you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that. Everything you do has consequences. Any other questions? Go ahead.
What about your dad?
My dad has been incarcerated for 27 years. He comes home next month. He's going to the halfway house. Then he's coming to live with me. So I forgave my dad for walking out on us. I love my dad. It's kind of troubling to deal with my dad because he thinks a different way and I think a different way. But yet he's my dad and I have to honor him and love him because he's my dad. Most black men, what they do is because their dad walk out of their lives, first thing they say is, the hell, excuse my language, the hell with their dad. Well, that's your dad. You have to love your dad. You have to love your mother. You have to love them. See, love brings everything back together. So we got to start loving one another. There are going to be some people that's going to do bad things to you in your life. And it may not be purposely done. Maybe an accident or just a bad choice. But you still have to love people. Next question.
You pray for your family?
Yes, I pray for my family every night. That's a great question, young man. Great question. He asked, do I pray for my family? I constantly pray for my family. My mom and I, we pray together. My sister and I, we pray together. Periodically, my brother and I pray together. We all pray together. We all pray together. Because what prayer does is, man, it's communication with God and it's communication with one another. So if I'm praying for you and you praying for me, there should be no dissension. It's love because I'm sincerely praying for you. My sister and I, we get on the phone sometimes and pray together. I call up and we pray together. So they say a family that prays together stays together. So now there's love. There's still kind of a little tension here and there because you're going to always have bickering in families. But if you pray together, it keeps it solid, keeps it strong. So it's very important that you do those things. Next question. Yes?
You still be by your grandmother?
Do I still be by my grandmother? My grandmother's passed. My grandmother's dead. She's dead. She's dead. But she was a great woman. She was a great woman. Yes?
Is it true that you actually used to skip class a lot when you was young?
Yes. When I was the first time I skipped class, I think I was probably in the second or third grade. The second or third grade, I went to, because I couldn't read. Again, I couldn't read. I couldn't function, and I didn't have a passion for school. I didn't care anything about learning because I have dyslexia now. So it's when your brain works like my brain. For instance, I'm not interested in a lot of things. You know how people are interested in things? My interest is very, very minimal. I don't know why. I still write things down backwards. So I don't know. It's something wrong in my head, but that's not my problem. But I'm not going to allow that to handicap me. But what I did was when I was young, I didn't have anybody to talk to and let them know that, hey, I'm having this problem. So I was laughed at in school. So I didn't want to be laughed at. No kid wants to be laughed at. So I ducked class. I didn't care anything about school. Another question. These are great questions. Go ahead. She said, why did I murder someone? Well, what happened was, again, I was lied to as a kid. When I was 13, 14 years old, I was snorting cocaine and heroin. I was smoking marijuana. I was drinking. How old are you, young man? You're 12 years old. How old are you, young man? 14. You're 14. When I was his age, I was on cocaine, addicted to cocaine at his age, 14. So I had an older guy who used to mentor me, but he was a drug dealer. So they would pump all kind of lies into my head. What is it about to be a real man? How you got to carry a gun? This kind of foolishness. And I bought into those lies. So it was a guy who came in my project selling drugs. We got into a fight. He went and got a gun, I went and got a gun. We started shooting at each other, and I wound up shooting him, and he died. So I bought into the lies. I bought into the lies that no one can come into my project and sell drugs. That's not my project. It wasn't my project. That was for the federal government, the housing authority. That was not mine. But we buy into these lies that these communities or these hoods are our hood. They're not yours. You have not paid for that. You have not paid for that. Don't buy into the lies of the streets. Go ahead.
Did you feel guilty when you shot the person?
He said, did I feel guilty when I shot the person? Of course. I felt very, very bad. After I did that, I knew because my grandmother was a praying person and she had taught us about God, but yet I rebelled against that. And I knew that there were consequences and repercussions if you kill someone. So that sort of really shifted my life when I did make the final ultimate decision to change my life, because I knew that I would have to stand before God and answer to that. And I tried to reach out to the guy's mother many a times to really sit down and talk with her to let her know that I'm sincerely sorry, you know, and I knew that I took a life, and but she doesn't want to talk to me, but she prays for me, so that's fine. Yes, young man.
When you went on trial, did you like admit that you did it, or did you lie like other people?
Well, what I did was, that's a great question. That's a great question. What I did was I told the truth. He had a gun and I had a gun, so that makes it more or less self-defense. So I got manslaughter. So if I had, just say hypothetically, if I had killed someone back then, right, and they didn't have a gun, of course I wouldn't have got on the stand and told the truth. Of course, because I would have gotten life in prison. But most people lie when they get on the stand. But I had to tell the truth. He had a gun and I had a gun. We're shooting at each other. My bullet hit him.
How long you was in jail?
I did a year on that. I did a year, 1 year, as a juvenile. Yes.
What about your friends who got you all into this?
He said, that's a great question. He said the guys who got me into this, the guys that I looked up to when I was older, right? When I was younger, when I was his age, there was these drug dealers I used to look up to. Many of them are dead. Many of them are in the penitentiary for the rest of their lives. One that I really, really admired, he's working at a car dealership and he washed cars. He had a bunch of money. He probably was a millionaire and lost everything. Now he washed cars at a dealership. So these guys that I looked up to, these guys who I value because they were in the street life, and man, they had money, they had clothes, they had all the girls, they had jewelry, they had everything. They would give me $50, $60, hold up, brother, take. You know, can you imagine somebody giving you $100 when you're 14 years old? It's like, wow, you know, that was a lot of money back then. But that's why I idolized them. But the people that I should have idolized were the smart people, the educated people, the people that was getting up every morning, going out there and working hard and taking on the challenges of life, conquering life, doing great things academically, doing great things in their community, helping others. Now, those are the people that I admire. So you can change. One other question. Yes?
Did you go to college?
Did I go to college? No, didn't go to college. What I did was, when I got to prison, I did 4 years in prison, and I started educating myself in prison. I got my GED in prison. I just started reading like a wild maniac. And I read today. I read everything. I read books all the time. And I studied the dictionary. Constantly studied the dictionary to expand your vocabulary. Yes?
Did you repeat any other grade besides fifth?
She said, did I repeat any other grade besides fifth? I repeated the 3rd grade and the 5th grade. Yes?
How you feel when your friends after that you were in high school?
Well, he said, how did I feel when my friends out of the project used to laugh at me because we had white people in our family. Some of our people are white. It didn't really bother me. I thought it was ignorant on their behalf. Actually, I thought it was a privilege in many ways to be a mixed race or a mixed culture, have a mixed culture of people in the family. At times, you know, it irritated me that people would say nasty things about my white cousins, but these were good people. And you know, in a lot of our communities, man, we're on both sides. People are very, very ignorant. Just recently, they had the thing where these college kids were talking about niggas, calling, you know, that a nigga saying some things about niggas. But on the same flip side of that coin, you have black kids that say the same thing. So we got to just stop ignorance, man. Listen, ignorance will not destroy this world. The people who sit by and allow it to happen will. Remember that. Ignorance will not destroy this world. It's going to be the people who sit by and allow it to happen. Like you. If you see one of your girlfriends talking about, oh, that white girl this, that white girl that, you say, hey, no, that's a human being. She's a good person. Don't talk about her because she's white. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for what's right. I stand up for what's right. I have a lot of white friends. I have a lot of black guys who I know that are ignorant. I say, hold on, man. These are my people. These are my friends. I get really upset when you talk about my white friends. Or if I hear black people, you know, vice versa, white people, you're not going to talk about nobody because we're human beings. Yes, last question.
What school did you attend?
I attended Chester Elementary, James Durham, Fauché, Walker, and Booker T. Washington.
Do you have any children, like a wife or something?
No, I don't have a wife. I don't have a wife. In my book, I talk about what happened with my kid. I think you guys are too young for me to expound on that, but I talk about that in the book. I don't have a wife yet, waiting on God to, you know, meet me with the right girl and we get married and have a